Hey, yo, lesson here, babe. You come at the king, you best not miss.
Oh my God.
It's all good. I got it right here. Don't trip. All right. Hopefully they don't flag me for this. Hopefully they don't flag me. But if they do, it's worth it. If they do, it's worth it. All right. So I want y'all to see this clip. I want y'all to see this clip of classic scene from The Wire. Classic scene from The Wire with the homie Weebay, man. My homie Weebay, man. One of my favorite characters in The Wire. All right, let's watch this and get your thoughts before we get into this bigger conversation.
Hey, yo, lesson here, babe. You come at the king, you best not miss.
You come at the king, you best not miss. Let's get into this combo. You come at the king, you best not miss. All right, so this is what I'm observing. These are just some observations that I had. And I got my notes pulled up. So if I miss a couple, I'm going to try to make sure that I can still see you guys' comments. Yeah, let me move the screen a little bit. But I got my notes up for this one. I got to have my notes up for this one. The pendulum always swings. The pendulum always swings. You're always going to have an opportunity to push whatever it is that you're pushing. Sometimes your window will be small. Sometimes your window will be big. Sometimes it'll move fast. Sometimes it'll move slow. It just is what it is. But it's on you to catch it. It's almost, I think about back at the park at MCAP when they had the boys, they had the basketball league, and then the girls, they had the like the double dutching and stuff. And you ever see like when the girls do their they try to figure out, when to jump in for the double dutch. And if you miss it and you get caught up with the jump ropes, get to the back of the line. It's over. You got to wait until the next, right? So when you get your opportunity to come at the king, you can't miss. Now, who's been the king of America? Answer me that question. Who has been the undeniable king of America? And bear with me. Y'all know what it is. It's Dak from the OG Network. And I just want to thank y'all. That's right, to thank y'all for all of your tremendous support over the years, whether you've been rocking with us from the beginning or maybe this is the first show that you're checking out on the network. We want to thank you nonetheless. And we have an ask, all right? We have a goal of reaching 20,000 subscribers by the end of March. That's right, 20K by the end of March. It's not a real goal unless you put a date on it. And with that, we need your help. So we ask that if you are enjoying the content that you like, subscribe if you haven't already. And if you're feeling real generous, maybe share with some friends and family. All right, I'll let y'all go. And once again, thank you for your continued support. And we look forward to growing with y'all. See y'all soon. Ew. On this, I ask y'all not to cast any judgments. Don't leave because you hear certain things that I may say that may be offensive, or you may receive them as offensive. You think the conversation is going one way. I just ask that you bear with me. Who is the undeniable king of America? The white man, right? The white man, right? The man, right? Let's just be honest. If you had to identify a king, like who's been leading America, it would probably be the white man, right? The white man, right? Maybe you put a picture of Trump. Maybe you put a picture of Trump. Quee said the feds. Probably majority white men. Just being honest, right? So here you have white men who have been the kings of America. You got white men that fought in the Revolutionary War, that fought in the Civil War, that fought in World War II, fought in all these wars. You got white men that have put America in the place that we're in now, of course, with the help of a lot of others, right? But when we like to blame America and criticize America for all these things, we're largely criticizing the white men, right? So we criticize and we're giving responsibility for the white men. So that's why we're being critical of them. But then on the other side, we don't necessarily give responsibility and credit for some of the positive things, right? Like, because America is still pretty good country, right? That's why everybody wants to come here. All right, cool. And we're going to elaborate on that a little bit later as far as how we can appreciate other countries. We appreciate, matter of fact, let's get into it right now. One thing that I noticed when it comes to America is a lot of us, we appreciate other countries more than we appreciate America. And those other countries, people don't even have the same rights that we have in America. The same ability to complain the way that we can complain in America, to protest the way that we can protest in America. I can remember, I remember hearing a story. I'm not going to say specifically who it was, but a story of somebody had somebody gay in their family. Somebody had somebody gay, and I believe they identify as trans. I don't know, whatever. Somebody had somebody gay in their family, but they really like Ghana. So they really like the country of Ghana. And they were saying, oh man, like I love Ghana, but you know, I probably can't go back there because such and such is gay. And you know, they made it against the law to be gay. Like that's a fact. Like they have laws passed. So here I am sitting here and I'm thinking about this conversation. I'm like, I really love Ghana, but I don't ever hear that same energy when it comes to America. We will celebrate a country to where it would be against the law for somebody to be gay. But then we will never talk about America in a favorable way, giving it credit for actually being a country where the greatest country in the world, right? And a lot of people will say that it's not the greatest country in the world. In my opinion, the majority of those people haven't lived in another country. It's very easy to have this mindset of the grass being greener on the other side. That's just something that I thought about. And maybe that's why when other people come here and are risking their lives and risking their livelihood of their kids and all these different things to get to America, maybe that's why they take better advantage of the opportunities in America than people who look at America as just like, man, we were brought here, or, you know, America's not that good. Y'all get what I'm saying? It's like almost going to a job. Let's say you go into a job and somebody, they get an opportunity, just like dude in the first icebreaker. You get an opportunity to go to a job. Let's say you're used to making $30,000, but now you get the opportunity to make $40,000. You're excited about that. You're looking at that like, yo, I'm coming to work. I'm making sure I'm on time. Matter of fact, I'm gonna be early. I'm gonna have a positive mindset. I'm smiling around the office. I'm excited to help people, that type of mindset. But then you have somebody that's been in that position, making $40,000 for the last 5 years, whatever, stagnant. They don't have a certain level of appreciation the way that that person that's making more. So therefore, that person who was making less and now is excited about that opportunity, they're going to get more out of that opportunity. And they're probably going to be making more money faster than the person that's just been making $40,000 for the last 5 years. There's a reason why you've been remaining stagnant. So I just kind of wanted to give a little context when it comes to that. But let's get back to the point. White men, the undisputed kings, right? The undisputed kings. Now I'm seeing a lot of I'm seeing a lot of comments. Let me catch up with these comments. So Queez wrote the feds. Ebony wrote capitalism. Ebony wrote so did blacks, but we don't do kings here. The system is king. Y'all can say all this stuff. White men have been the kings. You can put it in all these other words. White men have been the kings. You could say you don't do kings, but in the context of what we're speaking on, it's white men. Ebony wrote, America thinks they're the best without experiencing other countries. I just seen a bunch of people that spoke on leaving their country for the American dream lie. Money equals happier life. This is what I always say. And it's similar to what, maybe we'll play a clip of what Trump says. If you really think that another country's better, for me, I think y'all know me pretty well by now. If I thought that another country was better, I would move to another country. So I'm not saying that another country's better. But what I'm talking about is the people that praise these other countries, like a Ghana that I was talking about. You praise these other countries, right? Well, why don't you go live there? You're praising a country to where it's against the law to live the type of lifestyle that you live. While meanwhile, you're sitting in America and looking and acting as if you're the most oppressed country in the world. But let's get on. I don't want to lose the point. White men have been made the target of a lot of groups. And what we're seeing in real time is a response to all those things. And we've talked about how our culture over the last 30 years, 20 years has been shaped by a response type of way of life, a response, right? Reaction, very reactionary. We had George Bush in office. What was Kanye yelling? George Bush don't like black people. Who becomes the president next? Barack Obama, right? First black president. A lot of people say that people didn't like that. So then you got a guy like Trump who's talking about MAGA. And when he was first running, he was looked at as coming across very racist. Just being honest. That's what I was thinking. I couldn't stand him. Okay, boom. Then you get a reaction to Trump. You got Joe Biden and all these woke ideologies. Joe Biden says, number one agenda that I'm pushing is the LGBTQ, right? Directly a response to Donald Trump's conservative push. People don't like Joe Biden stuff. He's getting a little bit too far. You got tampons in boys' bathrooms. You got boys playing sports against women. You got the drag queens reading books to kids in school. All these different things that are occurring. They go back to Trump. I'm going to play a clip for y'all. And the reason why I said earlier that even talking about spankings, how we're getting a little bit more conservative. But I'm going to hold off on that clip. But that clip may surprise you as far as how 18-year-old non-white boys voted in this last election. But hold off on that. So like I said, we're seeing response and reactionary, a cultural shift due to responses. White men are fed up. White men are fed up to the point where the rhetoric is no longer important, right? You hear Trump say something like, if you don't like it here, get out. Now, people may look at that and say that's insensitive, but I'm telling y'all have pushed white men in a corner to the point where they don't care about the rhetoric. They care about the results. They've seen what it's like when you compromise too much and give your leadership to individuals that are now abusing it. It reminds me of that saying, you give someone an inch, they're going to try to take a mile. So what exactly am I talking about? Am I being an Uncle Tom? Maybe. I don't know. Shoot. Maybe. But I'm just telling y'all the observations that I'm having. So when I look at these issues, let's look at some of these issues in these movements. You got feminism. What was that about? Forcing equal pay, right? Forcing equal pay. Now on the surface, that looks fine, right? Okay, yeah, women should be getting paid the same amount for a man. Cool. It is what it is. But the one thing about all these studies that I've seen when it comes to equal pay, and somebody can share with me one that actually isn't what I'm saying it's about to be. All these studies, they never seem to factor in the amount of hours compared to, a man working compared to a woman in the same jobs, but neither here nor there. I'm somebody that's saying if you do the same job, you should get paid the same amount. Perfectly fine with that. Perfectly fine with that. I think that that's fair. Now, I'm also the type of person that believes if you're not getting paid the same amount, just like with black people, this is why I don't believe in DEI. If somebody does not want to hire me because I'm black, I do not want to force them to hire me because they're black, because I'm black, or I don't want to force them to hire me. You get what I'm saying? So therefore, it's like me, my mindset is, oh, you don't want to hire me? I bet I'll just go create my own thing. It happened the other day. I went to a coffee shop because I had an idea. I wanted to meet with them to do some type of co-branding content. And I feel like Shorty big time me. Now my mindset goes into you're an op. Now I'm going to either work with your op or I'm going to make you an op and make that. That's just my mindset. That's where I go. So for the ladies, if you're not getting hired at the same rate as men, what I would do, I would create my own company. create my own business and hire women and pay men less if you want to. If you run the company, you do whatever you want with it. But let's not get off focus because I know I'm gonna lose some people. So you got the feminist movement, women's empowerment. You got this Me Too movement, right? Believe all women. Imagine that. We're gonna believe all women. That was the second. I'm not going in any particular order. That's directly this. Believe all women. A lot of white men went along with it. A lot of men in general went along with it. Why you would believe all women or believe all of anything? Anything you say after believe all, it becomes totally irrational. Believe all black people. Believe all gay people. Believe all white men. Oh, now it lands, right? Right? Believe all white men. Yeah, okay, now the point lands. Believing all of anything. Any movement that tells you that you should believe all of anything just because they're a woman, that's a very irrational movement, just in my opinion. Let's move on to Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter and the first woke movement, right? Where you got white people in general being told that they are either consciously or unconsciously racist bias, right? We've actually did some, when I was working with the schools in Montclair, we actually put together a program. We put together a program that was going to uncover the unconscious bias, or, there was a bunch of them in the Montclair school system. So now we're telling them you're racist and we're forcing you to be a part of this program, this DEI program. That's the next one, right? Companies being forced to hire based on diversity. And if you don't, it's going to impact your ESG scores as a company, right? Okay, DEI, that was the next one. The LGBTQ movement, allowing men to play in women's sports, boys to play in girls' sports, tampons in boys' bathrooms, drag queens reading books to kids in school. All of these different things, in my opinion, were a compromise, an attack on white men, you could say, or at least a compromise with their leadership. I don't think that the majority of white men agreed with any of these things. But they said, you had some that said, you know what, let's just let it rock. A lot of these people, they've been oppressed or they've, gone through different things. So we're just going to allow them to, let's give them what they're asking for. Okay. The white men are finally responding. The white men are finally responding and fed up with all of the compromising that they've been doing. All of the compromising that they've been doing, to the point where you get in a position where you can't even say that only women can give birth. You can't even say that men can't get pregnant. You can't even say, this is the world that we're living in because they made it so damn radical. Y'all got a little bit of power. You had the ball in your court, and look what you did with it. And like I said, white men are finally responding. They've been backed into that corner. They've been backed into the corner. And now some will fold and some have folded and just allow things to move in whatever direction and see it as the safe play. Oh, I don't want to aggravate these women, or I don't want to get on their bad side. You see it with Gavin Newsom. We just played with Gavin Newsom, who's been pushing more of these progressive, like California is the progressive state. And it's the laughing stock of America, people would say. A lot of people would say. And now you got Gavin Newsom finally coming out to say, hey, I think it is an issue of fairness with boys playing sports against girls. And look what his party is coming at him saying. Even Gavin Newsom, the person that pushed your woke agenda and actually put it in play while everybody else was just talking about it, Gavin Newsom was actually doing it in California. And now even he's pulling back. He's pulling back. This is why Trump has become so popular and why there's a conservative push, why there's an American nationalism push. And other countries are experiencing similar things, in my opinion. When you look at Black Lives Matter, the feminist movement, LGBTQ, and a couple of other groups, when I say that they've all had the ball in their court and they missed because they couldn't bring sensible arguments or a sensible agenda to the table that the majority of people could get behind. And when I say sensible, I'm talking about all these things that we're talking about. All these things, they couldn't get a sensible argument. You had all this power, whether it's Black Lives Matter, LGBTQ, you were forcing stores to going in stores and saying, hey, if you don't put this rainbow sticker on your store, then we're not supporting, we're going to. Y'all had the power, and what exactly did y'all do with it? And the reason why I say it's not a sensible argument, because even if you talk to a lot of the moderate Democrats, they will sit there and say, look, we didn't agree with any of that stuff, but hey, we're still Democrats, so we voted for a lot of the other stuff. And now we're sitting here saying, damn, look at the Democratic Party. Leadership allowed our party to get so damn radical that we're pushing these things that the majority of the country doesn't even agree on. But because they got to just oppose Trump so much and oppose the conservative movement so much, this is what they've aligned themselves with. It just isn't sensible. It's not logical and it's not practical. And now they're looking silly and ridiculous, pushing a lot of these outrageous things, in my opinion, that are far too radical for the masses. They had the power, they had the ball in their court, and they fumbled. Now you look around. Black Lives Matter. What's the BLM Avenue when they wrote Black Lives Matter on the street? That's gone. DEI is gone. It's back to two genders. All that trend. It's back to two genders. Men aren't going to be competing in women's sports. Boys aren't going to be competing in girls' sports. And it's what's so wild about it is it sounds crazy even having to say that. And let me go back to like we will criticize America, who's allowed boys to play school. Like the leadership is compromised so much that they've allowed boys to play sports against girls. And we will still criticize America about how oppressed we are here, but then celebrate and love Ghana. Celebrate and love all these other countries. And even Ed, I know you were talking about people going back home and to different places. I guarantee you, wherever home is, I'm just speculating. Maybe I shouldn't say I guarantee it. Wherever home is, I bet you home is not as accepting when it comes to all this radical stuff that America has accepted and just turned a blind eye to, look the other way. I guarantee you, whatever island we're talking about, whatever country we're talking about, they are not as accepting as any of these radical policies that America has accepted. But still, people are looking at America as if it's the worst place in the world, as if you're all these different things, right? We're no longer believing all women just because they're women. All of these things that were pushed so hard, people are now looking at it like, nah, we're not going that route. We're not going that route. And I want to take the time real quick to play this video for y'all. And I'm going to catch up with the comments and I'm going to play this video for y'all because a lot of y'all may not still be, the point may not be landing for y'all. And that's cool. That's cool. You may not agree. You may not agree, and that's perfectly fine as well. But when you see this next clip, you'll understand that the younger people are agreeing. So hold on. Let me read what G wrote. In business, it is not based on results and profit. And building good teams, no matter who you are, color of skin, what your preferences are, etc. I'm sorry. In business, is it not based on results and profit and building good teams, no matter who you are, color of skin, what your preferences are? That's a fact. That's what it should be. That's what it should be. G wrote, do you think that Gavin's adjustment is a manipulative move to gain votes in the next election? His podcast and him trying to become more approachable is a move in my humble. It's 100% a move. And this is the thing. This is the thing, G. This is what I'm saying. Everything he's done was a move. Him telling teachers that they didn't have to tell parents that their kids were coming to school and identifying as another gender. That was a move. Everything he does is a move. Yeah, I'm glad that you said that, because let me be very clear on it when it comes to Gavin Newsom. Everything Gavin Newsom does is a move. And that's my point. All of these soft, let me not say soft, a lot of these liberals, a lot of these liberal men, the Tim Waltzes, a lot of these liberal men, they compromised, they appeased, and they said, oh yeah, you can have as many genders as you want. You can have boys playing sports, and we can have drag queens read books to kids. We can do all these different things. They compromised. A lot of these people compromised. And it even got too radical for them to make sense. They knew that it was Gavin Newsom knew that it was crazy, but now he's trying to say, well, I got daughters. Well, you didn't know that when you were putting in all these policies that your daughter may end up competing against a man in sports, a woman in sports. G wrote, what Gavin has done in California, not taking care of homeless and money disappearing. Do we not see results of this man? That's a fact. That's a fact. He's a snake. He's a snake. That's how I see it. And this is the thing. A lot of these snakes, they gaslit a lot of these people. They gaslit a lot of, we talked about, they gaslit Black women. And that's why we talk about, you got Jasmine Crockett, Ayanna Presley, AOC. They gaslit these Black women to get so aggressive and to be their most ferocious soldiers in their Democratic army. They gaslit Joy Reid, all of these different people. They gaslit them. And now they realize, like, oh, shoot, now we can't control them. It's all of the Gavin Newsoms that allowed this type of stuff. Meanwhile, all the other people that were just saying, like, nah, that's crazy. We're not doing that. The men that actually stood on what they believed in. Because, like I said, Gavin Newsom he didn't believe that it was ever fair for a boy to play sports against a girl. There's no way that you could ever believe that. But because he just prioritized his own power and him wanting to get into a position to eventually become president and all these different things, that's why he allowed it. He allowed these things. And the women and the other people in the party, the LGBTQ, the Black Lives Matter, all these different groups, they thought that, oh yeah, Gavin Newsom, and matter of fact, I can't even say Black Lives Matter, because if you look at Black Lives Matter, one of their goals was to break up the male-led home, the patriarchal household. That's what their mission was, as they put all this money into all these transgender organizations. You came at the king and you missed. And I'm getting ready to show you a clip to show you. It's Dak. Just want to thank you for checking out our video and visiting the OG Network. If you enjoyed the video, please make sure that you give us a like. And if you're looking to join a community of inspired individuals striving for purposeful abundance, subscribe. And if you're feeling real generous, share the video with some friends and family. All right, I'll see y'all soon. Ew.